go over some things with you. As you see, the recommendation low bid of 166,465 for Bayer Contracting. That's for replacing those frontlators. Several of us have been up there and looked at that. As a matter of fact, I went yesterday, and me and Dickie and Jan and Mike went yesterday. She said she'd never been to the water department before, and she wanted to see it. So we went up there and looked at it, and Jason Lewis took us through it, showed us everything. They've got to be repaired. We just don't have no choice. And nobody was expected to spend $166,000 4 months ago, but that's what we're left to do.
You spent about 50,000 or so.
I was thinking, you know, Camden, we went up there and Lynn one day, we was talking like 60. But that's replacing both of them. One's completely down and one is on its last leg, and that's the one that's working. So we really got to get it fixed.
So this is going to do both of them?
That's going to do both.
Hey, Dan, we could come in there and.
We've got several bids, you see. They were the lowest. I think it was like 5 bids on the thing.
Good one.
Y'all got a copy of this?
Yeah. It's in here, just watch in the folder. It's in the folder.
But that's what, and Keith Reed and them has looked over it, and that's the company they recommend also. So that's one thing.
So they do have experience with Bayer.
They do. Third thing is recommendation to open a checking account at First National Bank for Aggie Plaza. This is actually so they can have a tax exemption. When the Aggie Plaza, you know, they don't have their 501, whatever their tax status, is that right, Scott? So they're going to have to use their tax for us. When people make a donation to them, they can use that for their tax advantage. People won't make one. Sometimes they don't have, they can't get off their income taxes.
501c3.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And they don't have it. So in order for people to give, and then when they even purchase stuff, like they're going to purchase some stuff now, they have to save them on their taxes to use our number. It's just going to require extra work for Jan and Amy.
Well, so at
As
least we
far as
do
costing
what
us
you're doing.
anything, it's not, but some time.
You
But are we
sure
not-
it's a good idea?
Yeah,
Well, Scott can give us some advice on that. Now, he's looked at this and
From a legal standpoint, you just need to make sure that you find that there's a public purpose that is being served by doing this. I think it would qualify for that with it being part of the school and on school property. It's on, all the work's going to be on public property.
And revitalization, I would think.
And part of that as well. Yeah, trying to tie it in together. It's not, and Tim and I talked about it a little bit today, it's not something I want to get into very often.
Hey, John.
With doing and the concerns with having other organizations come through and do this. But if y'all find that there is a public purpose behind doing this and that it is being served, I think it would be fine to do. And then my understanding is they have applied, or they are in the process of applying for the 501c3 status to get their taxes in status. That'll be some time before they get that.
I'm going to suggest that we maybe suggest to them that they take it before the chamber board and see if the chamber would be willing to do it instead of the city. That way the city's not opening themselves up and we aren't going to have other people coming and wanting us to do the same thing.
The chamber can't do that.
The chamber can.
It's not a
We
501c3.
can't do that.
Chambers not.
We did this has been done before.
It has been. I mean, it's not a practice that we try to publicize.
Promote, no.
And promote it, but it is something, you know, if it wasn't for this, the school and the thing, I probably would say, let's not do it. But they're at the point now where they're fixing to start work this month. He figures here today.
How have they been handling it before? Because
Well, they hadn't purchased, well, if they have, they hadn't had,
well, their brochures that they handed out are dated June of 2012, and it says
Okay.
all donations tax exempt. So how have they been handling that for the last 9 months?
I don't know.
So are we going to get caught up in that for their previous donations and be
I wouldn't
asked
think
to?
so.
If they didn't use our number, we shouldn't.
But I guess my question is, how have they been doing it before?
Well, Brendan and Braille would have to answer that question
Yeah.
here if they was here today, this morning. But I honestly don't know how they've been doing it before. I know this is, they're at a point now where they're fixing to buy like $5,000 worth of brick to get started.
And I think that's the incentive behind this, is needing to use this, is for when they purchase, make a purchase, that it will help them out there. That mainly, to me, was what they indicated to me. Now, I might be wrong, somebody else might can shed some light on it, but that was to me, what they meant was that it would help them with their buying power. Because see, with it being the city, you don't have to pay taxes.
Right.
Am I
Yes,
right,
yeah,
Scott?
that's
I mean,
right.
is that,
It is.
that's pretty much the way I understand it.
If I
Scott?
feel comfortable with it, I'm all for it. You don't-
I'm
You
comfortable
need to
with
let me
it.
know now.
I'm
So you-
not,
what you
I'm
got?
not uncomfortable with it at all.
These would only be
Done it.
donations made from this point on.
Well, I would think so, and I'm not, like I say, you know, I
I
don't know.
think we might, well,
If you want to.
I would.
Well, in the
let
meantime,
know.
we can call and ask them, you know, before we go into an official, meeting.
What about the possibility, talking about 501c3s? I know at one time the band boosters had their 501c3, and I'm not sure about the athletic booster club. You know, with it being involving school way more than the city, you know, would that be, you know, a possibility, running the monies through there? Just a suggestion. And I don't know if that 501c3 is still,
Right.
you know, if it's still up and going or not. It was several years ago. Because there's only a handful of official
It
501c3s
takes a
in
long
town.
time to get this, and you know, this is the point now, they're working this month.
Well, they want to try to get this
So,
project
just-
done
so-
while school's out.
It's, they're at a crossroads right now, and I don't think they were expecting to come this fast, that this come up, you know, this just come up last week, it's not something that,
Well, I know they mentioned before that they were expecting a large
yeah.
donation. So if that's already been received and then we jump in, are they gonna back up? I mean,
They
I
may
just
use it.
wanna
Well,
know-
if it's made this year, they may could use it, you know, I don't know.
There has been some large donations made just recently, very
So-
recently.
I'd really like to know how that's gonna affect us if they try to go back. If we agree to do it tonight and then they try to go back for the last 9 months.
The only way it would affect us is any monies that come in right now would have to basically be donated to the city to be able to use our money. And we just have to be setting it aside in a separate account for Aggie Plaza. It's going through them, and that's their issue they will have to deal with. Anything that's been donated from this point back, I'm not for sure how they're gonna be able to do that, and going through the IRS getting their nonprofit status, that's gonna be extremely difficult to get. That it can be done, but it's extremely difficult, and most
So-
likely not possible.
So do they understand that?
Sure they do.
Well, they should. I mean, if y'all, we wait till the first meeting of April, it's just gonna delay it 2 more weeks, but that's, like I say, that's wherever you feel like. Greg, Lee,
I don't have a problem with it, but it's whatever y'all want to do.
what you want? I mean, if Scott's okay with it, I am, and if it's not, then we'll just wait.
From a legal standpoint, you can do it.
I'm for it. I'm for it. I just think we gotta, I think they realize that they're the kind of people that would take responsibility, seriously, and that, I don't think they'd be asking us in any shape, form, or fashion to put the city in kind of jeopardy.
No,
Do I want us to get in trouble? No, certainly not.
Oh, we won't, it may just be, like I say, it might be more paperwork for us, Jan.
Probably.
All right, let's go to the next, because I'm gonna have to get Ronnie to explain this for me. This is a reputation approval of health service between the city of Hamilton and QCHC. This is a contract, Dr. Bates' company, where they administer, when we have an inmate at the jail. Like right now, we can't administer anything, or we can't, they can't, if we're not in this program with them. And if somebody gets sick, then we got to go pick them up, take them to the doctor, take them to the emergency room. This would alleviate a lot of that kind of stuff. And Ronnie can explain a lot
So
better
they
than
would
I
be
can.
the ones taking them rather than
Well,
having.
they won't have to, they got somebody that can treat them there. We're
Oh, that's
responsible
right.
for those
Yeah,
inmates
okay.
And their medication.
The problem that we run into in this and what we're gonna try to alleviate is manpower issues where I get officers tied up for 2 or 3, 4 hours at a time, taken to the emergency room. It's not per se the emergency room bill that we'd have to pay because the defendant themselves or the inmate themselves would have to pay that. Where this comes into play at is the Sheriff's Department has Dr. Bates that does this, and they have a nurse on staff. Anytime a county inmate or a state inmate comes in, they're assessed. If they have any type of medical issues, stuff of this nature, if there's a daily medication that they need, you know, then they make sure that they get it. And it's all through this one cost, monthly cost. After he's in place this policy here, it made it to where if we have an inmate down there, then we have to go down there and possibly administer the medication to that inmate, whereas we don't, you know, my officers are not nurses, doctors, anything else, so they don't know what it is that they may be giving to this inmate. You know, if they're giving this in a proper dosage, if they're looking on the bottles and giving it to them, you know, then they may be giving it right, they may not be giving it right. Whereas this will eliminate us from the process. They'll have daily meds. The judge, in the event that he sees fit to put somebody in jail for 30 days or up to 1 year, correct, for anything coming out of city court, then as long as they're down there and they claim that they've got a headache, the nurse can see them, give them Advil or tell them that they don't really have a headache, you know, decide if they're, you know, pulling their leg or whatever.
Some might be diabetics.
Some of them diabetic. We had an issue with some diabetics, or two diabetics, just recently, where they were having to give a daily insulin. Well, by contract, they can only work on county inmates. With this, and it's $300 a month, is what the plan is. It's kind of a hometown price. There's different variations, different inmates. He's with several different jails across the state. I think it's a good policy. Also, in the long run, I think it will alleviate any type of medical issues that we may encounter with one of our inmates down there, plus any legal liability that may possibly come up. Because nowadays, the first thing that come up as far as an inmate trying to sue the city or sue the county or sue the state, defense attorneys want to come up with, you know, well, let me look at their medical records, they ask for their arrest records, they ask for their everything in it. And I think this would be a good recommendation for us to get involved with this so that we could have qualified medical staff that'd be willing to come testify in court to come and take care of us on this.
On average, about how many do we have from municipal court or city? Just a guesstimation.
Depending, we had one the other day that the judge was wanting to put in jail for 30 days, and he called and explained to him that if we put them in 30 days, you know, then we've got to, you know, maintain their daily medications and stuff like that, you know, and we asked that he withhold that 30-day suspension until we could possibly get this ran before the council and see what you guys thought about it. We'll average anywhere from, you know, 8 or 9 a month. Some of them will get in and they can't make bond. The indigent one that he's speaking of got in there, he couldn't make bond, he's a diabetic. We were able to make some provisions for his medication once we were able to contact somebody and find out exactly how much he was supposed to be needing. You know, but if a family member brings us the medication, then it's a daily medication. As long as he's locked up, we'll have to keep the daily medication here. They won't lock it in their facility there. So we will have to take the daily medication down there, administer it to them, and then come back up here and lock it back up in our facility. This contract will take care of every bit of that. They will assess them when they come in, they'll find out if they're diabetic, they'll find out if they got high blood pressure, if there's any type of, you know, other physical ailments, day-to-day ailments, stuff of that nature, then this nurse that stays there during the week, and she's on call during the night, so if something happens to them during the night, then they'll give the nurse a call, we'll do an assessment on them, see what they need. If they still have to go to the emergency room, you know, we may get involved then, as far as going to security purposes, but as far as day-to-day activity and tying manpower up and stuff, this would alleviate it.
So the $300 a month is a fixed rate, regardless if you've got one or if you've got
Yes,
two
ma'am.
dozen or whatever. I said that's that's his rate, okay.
And this cover sheet here is a policy that was implemented. If you'll look at it, it was implemented, it was faxed to us December the 5th, 2012.
Pam, we're on full wishes phone.
It's, I think that one right there, sure.
What, this one?
That
Yeah.
one, yes, ma'am.
All right.
That was sent to us,
December 4th, yeah. Well,
you see, right there on top, Lynn.
Winfield already does this.
Yes, sir. Winfield does it. I'm not sure if Ewan does it or Bear Creek does it. But if Bear Creek has one in there, then they have to come over, you know, take them to the emergency room, take them to the doctor.
Same protocol is used by the county
Yes, ma'am.
with his county
Yes, ma'am.
residents.
There's actually an examination room, like a doctor's office, set up down there with the nurse's station set up down there. The medications are locked up. If there's any daily medications that this person needs while they're in there, they won't be bringing it from home. The doctors and the nurse and the facility there will order their daily medication as seen fit by their doctor. They don't administer no narcotics. They don't administer anything of that nature. You know, it's strictly what they need.
I see.
What are we talking about?
The contract, Tim,
Yes.
with
Right.
Health Services contract at the jail, where we spend a contract with Dr. Bates Company to administer the health care of the inmates for $300 a month instead of us having to go back, pick them up, take them to the doctor, take them where they should be.
It's basically the same thing that the state has contract medical facilities for inmates.
Where we been doing it?
Well, we have to, if we don't have a contract, then we have to tie up an officer to do all this for quite a bit of time, at times.
We don't have anything covering that as far as how we've been doing it. And that's what I was telling them as far as administering medication and stuff of that nature. You know, our officers, we the same as corrections officers, you know, they're not qualified to administer medication. So if we lock anybody up and they have to have daily medication, then this would alleviate the problem as far as any legal liabilities, plus it'd take care of it down there on assessment checking in. They also assess them going out.
So they have a full-time nurse that's not, I don't know if it's full-time, but they
It's
do.
full-time.
At the jail?
Yes, sir, and on call.
Yeah.
And Dr. Bates, I think, comes by once a week and actually does the, you know, if it's something serious, then he comes by.
Got about 10 minutes, we'll go through the rest of this and we'll go back through it again in the meeting. So, recommendation to fill in the swimming pool. We had a few weeks ago assessment, and the guy coming on all the buildings in the city. And he gave us recommendations of what he thinks we need to do. This is one thing that's definitely, he says you either need to fix it, repair it, or fill it in. If we're not gonna have a swimming pool, then it's gotta be filled in. It's too much liability, mosquitoes, and liability if somebody get hurt. So, that would be my recommendations to fill the pool. Hopefully someday we'll get a new pool. A few years ago, there was over $40,000 spent on this pool, it still leaks, never was fixed. So we can't keep Band-Aiding, you know.
Looks like
There's gonna
Brenda
come a time
Jackson.
when we need to bite the bullet and build a new pool, or a splash pad or something similar, or just not have that pool. He even said today that they may close the pool with pipe because
Right.
liability, and it's just not many people use it anymore. So, be my recommendation, and Lynn, y'all have, tell me your thoughts on this, because I know y'all are the rec center, and you got kids that's involved with the rec. What do you think?
I think it needs to be on you.
Well, you know, Brenda said her dad, Lee Cooper, when he was overseeing all that, was having trouble with it then. My goodness, that goes back to the, way back in the country.
Well, the bottom line is, we can't leave them like,
No, can't.
I mean, once they don't come every year and look at every building, but once they come and look at it, they will come back and see if you've done anything to it.
Is this from the state or where?
No, it's the ANIC who has our insurance coverage,
Oh, I see,
Alabama Municipal Insurance Corporation.
I see.
So, I mean, they're aware of it, they got pictures of it, so we're either gonna have to fix it or we're gonna have to fill it in. We don't have a choice.
And if we fill it in, we could still maybe put it back in cages or something down there or something.
Yeah, we
like
could do
that.
something else with that property there and put a pool somewhere else. A lot bigger, nicer, and better. All right, number 7, it's a recommendation to set the lowest bid, $12,242, Greenwood turf and tractor for field drag. The one we've got is about over 10 years old. It's a Lincoln. This is money we can use out of the rec center fund account that would not be out of the general fund.
Oh, we need to bid that.
We did, we got another bid.
I know, but that's, I mean, you're not bidding the same thing according to paperwork that I got.
You sure?
Bidding the John Deere and a Toro.
Those two the
It ain't
same.
been, it's not been bid, he just got some quotes.
What do you want to bid?
We bidded the air conditioning unit, it's $4,000, I mean, we need, think we owe it to the citizens to bid.
We'll bid it then. You gave me 2 or 3 quotes, that's what I was going by.
And decide on which one we want, if we got to have one. Now, my understanding does the high school use ours? Or they got one?
They don't know.
They said they was using one last week, week before last. Is ours down?
Now they using ours.
How long we need another one for?
It's about wore out. It's nearly quit. I mean, they just need another one.
Did you say it was 10 years old? Who said that?
Yeah, Larry told me. it was.
Okay. Well, where was his other quotes from? Do you have that anywhere?
I've got it, I don't know if I gave it to y'all. I've got it.
One of them was from,
17,000.
One of them was Jerry Pate Golf
Yeah,
Oh, I saw that.
Place, probably the highest place you could get one.
So was this the lower one
Mhm.
of the quotes that he had given you?
one was 12,000, one was about 17.
17 was the,
Toro.
Hey,
probably the John Deere. I heard the John Deere.
Deere was
Toro was the 17.
Yeah.
Well, like, we need to, get us some.
Well, if you want to, a little bit of John Deere and just get several ones on the same John Deere.
I mean, if the Toro's cheaper,
Toro was not cheaper.
I mean, the John Deere's cheaper, but that was out of where?
here,
North Carolina?
Yeah, but the dealer's
Yes, sir.
here.
The
Dealer, we wouldn't buy that in North Carolina, got it
We
somewhere
ain't got
else.
no John Deere there, do you?
No, but we got it in Alabama.
Yeah.
I mean, they wouldn't send this thing from North Carolina, I know that.
South
South
Carolina. Ignorant.
Well, I'll get Larry to give us some more, just on this, just on that.
Get
Like
us
that's what we got.
2 or 3 dealers from John Deere. And, I don't know where y'all at, I ain't seen the thing here, but, Francis, I tried to call you today.
Well, my phone's out, it's been out all
That
weekend.
bush hog we got down there's a brand new bush hog.
At the street department?
Yes. We don't need to buy a new bush hog.
Well, why was it been brought up that we need one of them?
I have no earthly idea.
Cause it's 5 foot and he needs a 6 foot.
Needs a 6 foot.
He said we could sell the 5 foot and put it toward the 6 foot.
Well, it also
It's
talked
not
like to me
wide.
that it was about worn out. Has any
No,
of you
it's not
seen it?
wide
You seen
enough.
it, Tim?
Yeah, it ain't 4 foot difference, it ain't 4 inches in the difference of it. You won't have to make another round. Save $2,900, it's not worth buying new. It goes behind, I didn't even know we had it. A Kubota tractor.
You look at it?
Yeah, I went during lunch today to look at it. You wash it off, it's like a brand new, and it ain't gonna be, it likes about 2 inches on each side from the outside tracks of the tractor. It won't hurt to make another 2 or 3 rounds and save that $2,900,
26.
$2,600.
Or if you sell that for about that much.
Who can give you that for?
Well, I don't know.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, we don't need, it ain't gonna hurt to, 'cause what I see of mowing the sides of the highways with is them big bat wings. Have you seen Francis?
No, I haven't. I haven't. I more or less was just taking them at the word. My impression of it was that it was about worn out.
You know, man, it's like a brand new.
Well, we need to look at it. Don't we?
Would they buy it weight after the other one burned up? I mean, is that, or?
I'm not
they
sure,
have it,
that, well, the 6-foot one they had got burned when they had all that equipment fire down there at that building.
But I just wondered if they bought the 5-foot one since then, like Tim said, I mean, if it's in good shape, I don't.
Where did I get it from that it was used when they bought it? Did I just imagine that?
I don't know, I sure would like to have it.
Like the brick on the rec center is crushed brick we buy every year. Usually get about $4,800. This year is a little bit more because it needs a little bit more than it did last year. That's something we get every year for the infields. Anybody else got anything?
6 o'clock.
You else got?
Let me just clear up something on this,
Couple things tonight since we're
on,
not doing all
on this, thing about the bush hog. What size is it, what width is it to have now? A 5?
5
And he's wanting a 6?
6.
I think we got our mark on this one.